If you're thinking about moving to Sarasota, I wanted to talk to you about some tips and some things to think about so that when you're moving to Sarasota, it'll make the transition a lot easier on you. If you're new to my channel, I'm Katrin.pfitzenreiter. I'm a marketing professional and real estate agent here in Sarasota. This channel is all about Florida insights, including Sarasota real estate information. If you haven't subscribed so far, subscribe to this channel and let's get going. First one is the weather. We always talk about the weather. A lot of people who move to Florida end up moving out of Florida because they underestimated how warm the weather can get here in the summertime. We're talking about 95 degrees with high humidity. Now I'm filming this in December and the weather is really nice. It's about 65 to 70 degrees. That's one of the reasons why a lot of the snowbirds will come here just around this time, maybe after the holidays, January into April, because it's just beautiful here. Now, I'm not saying it's not beautiful in the summertime, but it does get really warm. And so many people who move to Florida will move back out of Florida because they underestimated how hot it can get here. Many of them will come here to visit in the wintertime because they're trying to escape the cold up north, but they have no idea what it's really like to live here year round. So just make sure that you're ready and prepared for the weather. Just kind of in line with the weather. In the summertime, it's really rainy. So I remember when I moved here, I was picked up by the airport, and typically it takes about an hour from the Tampa airport to Sarasota. It took us about 2 hours to get to Sarasota because in the middle of our trip, it started raining. Buckets of water just poured on the car, on the streets, and it got so dense, the rain that is, that we had to pull over for about 15 minutes to 20 minutes to allow it to just pass by because it was too dangerous to, drive on the highway. The good news is that when it rains like this, it usually doesn't last that long, an hour to 2 hours. If you're somebody that doesn't enjoy the rain, you're probably not going to enjoy living here in Florida in the summertime. Maybe you just become a snowbird instead if that's something that you can afford. Understand that we have hurricanes here. Now the good news is that we've never been hit directly with a hurricane, but we did have to prepare a few times. I've been here for about 11 years now, and I went through Hurricane Irma in 2017, and we all thought it was going to hit us directly, and we boarded up the house, brought all our stuff inside, and we actually left town because we felt a little bit uneasy about staying in Sarasota because at one point they were talking about it hitting us directly. For those people who just don't have enough time to prepare to get out of town, or they don't have a safe shelter to be in, back in 2017 a lot of these people would go into a shelter for the community, and that's typically when a lot of the schools will transition over to a hurricane proof type of shelter. Know about hurricanes and understand what it means to get prepared and what the safety precautions typically look like. You just want to become familiar with that. A lot of customers who actually think of Sarasota as a small town, and maybe it's because they've never been here before, or they're coming from a bigger city like New York City or San Francisco. Sarasota is actually a city, but it isn't very big. You can get very easily from one point of interest to another in maybe 15 to 20 minutes. So you can go from the beach to downtown Sarasota probably within 20 minutes if the traffic is good. Unless you live in downtown Sarasota, you do need a car. You can't just walk everywhere. Downtown Sarasota is fast growing. There's a lot of high rises, mid rises, and smaller types of buildings and homes. It does have kind of that city feel, which is great if you live down there and you don't want to drive. But as soon as you're out of that neighborhood, so downtown Sarasota is just a neighborhood amongst many neighborhoods we have here, you're going to need a car, or you're going to have to take a bus or maybe an Uber. If you're planning to buy a house here in Sarasota, make sure that you apply for Homestead Exemption. Homestead Exemption allows you to decrease the taxable value of your home up to $50,000. So from a tax standpoint, it will help you save some money. You will go to the county appraisal website to apply for the Homestead Exemption. So you never want to leave your kids in the car for longer than 50 minutes. As a matter of fact, it is illegal to leave a kid in a car unsupervised in Florida for longer than 15 minutes. Just know that. Don't underestimate how warm the cars can get here, even in the winter times. The temperature in the cabin can heat up so fast, and a lot of wrongful deaths have actually occurred because dogs and even kids have been left too long in the car. The traffic pattern here in Sarasota can vary depending on the time of the year and the time of the day. If I were to drive from Palmer Ranch to downtown Sarasota in the morning during rush hour, so when people are actually going to work, it could take me about 20 minutes longer than if I were to make that same trip during the day when everybody is essentially at work. To study the traffic pattern, also in the winter time, there's about 20% more people that live here because now you're counting in the snowbirds as well. You just want to have a good feel for what the traffic pattern is depending on the time of the month, the time of the day, in order to to help you get to places that you really need to get to on time. Be aware that there's an alligator in pretty much every lake in Florida. Some of my clients didn't even realize that we have alligators, or they just didn't believe it. Just know, even if you don't see them, they're in there. So don't take a bath in a lake, even though the lake may look very pretty. Alligators are in there, and you don't want a chance being taken over by an alligator. And with that said, also make sure that your kids and your dogs aren't anywhere close to the edge of a lake. Gators are very fast, and they've been known to scoop up dogs and even kids unsupervised. Be aware of love bug season, which is typically from April to May, and then again from August to maybe September, October. Love bugs are these bugs that fly attached because they're mating, and no, they don't sting, but they can swarm your car, especially when you're on the highway. Their remains on the car can be really sticky and really hard to get off, but it's important to get it off right away because their remains is acidic, and so it can hurt the paint of your car. You'll come to find out that love bugs are just a nuisance really when it comes to keeping your car clean. Be aware of fire ant hills, because once you step on them, they're so fast to sting you, and their stings really hurt. I actually got stung when I first moved here because I had no idea what fire ant hills were. I just thought it was just a regular dirt hill. Stepped on it, and as soon as you step on it, they'll come rushing out and they'll try to sting whatever stirred up the mount. Siesta Key Beach is the most famous beach that we have. A lot of tourists will come here just to be on Siesta Key Beach, but realize that we have so many other beaches that are in close vicinity to Siesta Key Beach, from Crescent Beach to Turtle Beach, the Lido beaches, and to the south, the Venice beaches. Try to get to know all of them because each one of them has its own value proposition. I'll go to North Lido Beach just for the sunsets. To me, it's the most beautiful sunset spot. Now I go to Siesta Key Beach typically on Sundays for the drum circle. You'll come to find out very fast what beach you should go to for what you're looking for, and it could be different depending on the day. Sarasota is centrally located on the west side of Florida, therefore is really close to a lot of these other travel destinations that are just an hour away, maybe 2 hours away. My recommendation is to take a road trip every now and then and get to know St. Petersburg and Tampa. Of course, Orlando, if you have kids, you're probably naturally going to want to go there anyways. To the south of Sarasota is Naples. Very close by is Venice. Venice has some amazing beaches, including Casperson Beach and Venice Beach. To the north is Longboat Key and Anna Maria Island. There's so much to do as well from a beach standpoint, and just cute restaurants to go to and bars. So get familiar with the area and start exploring once you moved here. Some of the best sunsets can be seen from Sarasota. We're lucky that we're on the west side, so we have the privilege of seeing the sunsets. And because Sarasota is such a visually stunning place to begin with, the sunsets here are just amazing. Go watch this video here for some suggestions of where to go to watch the sunsets, but I'm sure that if you're by the water somewhere, you're going to see a beautiful sunset as long as you have good weather. If you have any additional questions in regards to what it's like living here, or maybe you have real estate questions, just call me anytime. I really love talking to all of you. Hope this video was educational for you. I had a little bit of time, so I figured I'll do it for my car today. Have a great one. Take care.